How do you get money when you need it? What if there's something that comes up and you just can't afford it? What do you do? All right, we're going to cover that in this episode. Stay tuned. If you're new to the channel, excited about this topic, hit that like button for me. Subscribe to the channel. You want to be signed up to get all of these lessons and training so you can be successful in the kingdom. That's what I'm going to help you do. We're currently on a mission to help 10,000 Christians make $10,000 a month in passive income so that they are freed up to do the big things God has called them to do, and they don't have to let something as small and as pesky as money get in the way. If you'd like to be one of those 10,000 Christians, click the link below in the description. I got a video, I got a presentation showing how we're doing it. If that's something you want to be a part of, we invite you to come join us. It's going to be awesome. All right, we've already made a dent in that number, so we're excited about that. Click the link below, come join us. Now, what do you do if you can't afford something and you either need it or you want it? Now, there's a lot of things to unpack here, and if you've been on my channel, if you've been in my courses and curriculum and program, you understand we tackle this all the time, but here's what I need you to see more than anything else. You not being able to afford it is a myth. You not being able to afford it is a lie. In fact, that whole concept is just a deception of the enemy to keep you from moving forward. But Travis, what do you mean? I don't have enough money in my bank account to do the things I want. I know. There was a time when I didn't either. But I learned this truth. You can afford anything. One of the things, I've been so blessed to go to a church with such an amazing leader and pastor. One of the first things he had us do is eliminate that phrase, I can't afford it. And he says he's never said it to his family, to his kids. He's never said it out loud. He's never said it when his kids wanted something and I can't afford it. No, that word and that phrase does not come out of your mouth. So it's been ingrained in me for 20 years. Don't say that. You're a Christian. The supplier is your Heavenly Father. The source is the one that you are connected with. You can afford anything. I recently did a Black Friday promotion for my Passive Income Engines program. And when you join, you get a bundle pack, you learn how to make passive income, but you get all the Kingdom Money Mastery trainings, Increase University trainings as well. And it was like my lowest price ever. I even did a deal where I'd pay you $100 so you'd have money to start investing in your passive income streams. I mean, it was awesome. And we had a lot of people join. But I also got a lot of the emails that say, and look, no condemnation. I'm trying to train and coach you through this because I've thought this way before too. And so I've been there. I'm trying to show you a better way. All right, so don't get all offended. You're tough. You can take it. All right, but I got a lot of emails that were, Trav, I really want to join. It's just not a good time for me now. Things are tight for XYZ reasons. Oh, I just can't really afford it right now. Travis, it's just not in the budget right now. I think it's a great price, a great offer. We just can't do it right now. And look, in the natural, I get it. But here's what's at play. Lean in. Here's what I want you to get. This is a life-changing, life-altering, outcome-altering truth. If you'll grasp it, get this, and make it real to you. You saying, I can't afford it, is a belief that you have. Your belief, okay, what you believe adjusts your behaviors. Beliefs, behaviors, results. Beliefs, behaviors, results. If you've seen my other video, there's actually a step behind that, but we don't have to talk about that here. That doesn't matter. Just think about beliefs, behaviors, results. You believe you cannot afford it. So your behavior is no, shut it down, don't buy it, don't do anything with it. Your result is nothing new. If you don't take new action or have new behaviors, your results cannot and will not change. Your beliefs must change first, and then like a domino effect, your behaviors will change, and then so will your actions, your results. you'll get new results because you have a new behavior. Now, if you're always saying no because money's always tight, you believe you cannot afford something, so the behavior is don't buy it, don't acquire it, don't spend money. Well, you're going to get the same result you've always gotten. Hey, money is tight, so I act that way, I behave that way, and I get the result of money still being tight. Because I guarantee you, anybody who emailed me and said, oh, we just can't afford it right now, money's tight, but I'd like to, they've been saying that for years with lots of things. Isn't that interesting? I personally have friends and acquaintances who I've known them for 15, 20 years, and their money's always been tight. There was a season in my life where money was tight, right after I got married. It lasted about 4 months. That's it. And it wasn't even that tight, to be honest, looking back on it. I was like, we were fine. It just felt tight. So, what do? How does this work? What are you talking about, Trav? If you say I can't afford it, you're basically admitting defeat, and it's a little bit of a victim mentality. It's true. You were saying an outside force, something I cannot control, is limiting me. Have you ever thought about it that deeply? I have. It's why I decided to never say that again. Because outside forces cannot affect you if Jesus is Lord of your life, only if you allow them. Remember 1 Peter 5:7? The devil walks around like a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour. Who will allow it? Who will let me? Well, you let him by keeping things in your own strength and not letting God do his thing. The scriptures right before that, 1 Peter 5:5, 5:6, up to 5:7, and then into 5:8, explain that. You might need to dive into it. But what's happening here is if you're saying, I can't afford it, you're not saying, God, help me here. So in my own strength, in the natural, I can't afford it. Therefore, I'm shutting this down now. Therefore, I will not get new results. Well, what do you think's going to happen? How do you think you're going to get ahead? How do you think you're going to get out of this hole? How do you think you're going to crush it financially? How do you think you're going to become wealthy? How do you think anything of this is going to change? Your beliefs aren't changing, so your behaviors aren't changing, so your results aren't changing. What do you think? I mean, it's like, guys, just let's stop for a minute. I'm only doing this to bring awareness to you. People who have leveled up in life and leveled up their mindset are just aware of new things. Oh, I wasn't aware I was doing that. Oh, I wasn't aware that the thought I can't afford it was a red flag and actually an outside force, a circumstance that I'm allowing to control me. AKA a low-level victim mentality. You are not a victim. You're not. So, let's move on. What do you do now that you're aware and you're not going to say that anymore? What do? It's simple. You just go to God. And Matthew 6:33, this thing. Hey God, what do I do here? Now I know what this sounds like. I'm just going to use my course for example because it's fresh. Hey, I'd like to join Travis's program. It looks amazing. It's a faith-based, kingdom-minded community with all kinds of kingdom success trainings, including finances, an area I'm lacking in. It cost us a great price. Lord, what do I do? How do I get this? And he will give you a strategy. He always will. Several times in the Bible it says you can ask him anything. He'll tell you. James 1:5, if you lack wisdom in any area, just ask him. And your Father will give you the answer liberally, meaning freely, openly, generously, and he will not rebuke you for asking. God, how do I do this? What's the strategy? Here's something I want. What do I do? But instead, we'll say, can't do it. Nope, don't got the money. What you're really saying is, I do not have the extra money sitting in my savings account with nothing to, like no plans for it. Well, yeah, hardly anybody does. That's not how it works. Okay, you have to do something new if you want to get a new result. Another example. It's actually the perfect example because I've done this multiple times. There was one time I wanted to hire a coach, a business coach, business life coach kind of thing. And the price was $7,500. Didn't have the cash. I think I had $3,500 in my bank account, like in my savings account, I believe, at the time. And he told me the price. It was higher, much higher than I thought it was going to be. I asked him, could we do a monthly payment? And he said we could do 3 payments of $2,500. Okay, no, 3 payments of $2,800. And so I was like, okay, that's still most of the money in my bank account. And this was on a Friday. And I said, okay, I knew I wanted it. He could help me reach my goals. We'd already been through the conversation. I told him here was my goal. I wanted to get my business to making this much money per month. He said, that's easy. We've done that 100 times. We can help you do it. Kind of laid out the plan for me a little bit. When would you like to get started? And I was like, well, the money's more than I thought it would be. But I really want this. I want the result. So that's the other part. Is I'm not thinking lack. I don't have the money. I'm thinking I want the result. So the people in my program who emailed me about my program weren't thinking I want the result. The result is we've now helped 25 or 35, something in there, Christians make $10,000 a month passively in just a few months. We have people making 50 grand a month. We have a couple people making over 80 grand a month. And we have 50, 75, maybe even 100 people making, in between 1 and 5 grand a month, just passive on the side stuff. No business required, truly passive income through investing in our digital dividends strategy, right? Like they're not thinking, oh, if I invest this relatively small amount, I will reap a comparatively large amount. If you were thinking that, you would do whatever it takes to get the small upfront investment. So back to my story is I went and I said, I will call you I said, let's set up a call for Monday. He said, why? I said, because I'm going to pay you. He's like, okay, I'll take your call if you're going to pay me on Monday. And I was like, all right, just Friday morning. By the end of that day, so what I did is I called 2 people that I knew who owned businesses. And I said, hey, I've got a marketing strategy I could implement for you on Facebook and Instagram. Can we talk today? Both of them said yes in the same day. I went and I closed 2 new clients at $1,500 a month each. I used that back against the wall feeling to go take some action I should have taken a long time ago anyway, and I went and I closed those deals. Now I had $3,000 a month coming in just from 2 clients, and I closed them both in one day, and that $3,000 a month covered my tuition with my new coach. Called him on Monday, sent him the payment. Then I did everything he said, and I ended up making $15,000 the very first month I worked with him. What if I said, no, I can't afford that? Because what I meant is I didn't have $7,500 in my savings account, plus I'd want extra because I didn't want to spend all of my savings account on this, right? Oh, I can't afford it, bro. I don't have $45,000 just sitting in my bank account lying around so I could comfortably give you the money without feeling any pain for it. That's what you're saying when you say I can't afford it. No. It's low level. We're rising up from that. Lord, how do I do it? What's the strategy? It was God who gave me the idea to call those 2 guys to get to those 2 clients. Recently on the show, we had Joshua Stevens come on the show. One of my favorite interviews I've ever done. He made $15 million his first 2 years in business. Gives God all the credit and glory. God gave him all the strategies. It was awesome. Great. Man, do anything. Go back, listen to those. Part 1 and part 2. Part 1 and part 2. Part 2 is my favorite. But go listen to both. It's captivating. But listen, there was a time when he tried to flip a house and he ended up losing $40,000 due to something to the effect of he still owed on the loan he was going to use to flip the house, but now the house went away and the profits went away. So he's holding a bag of $40,000 payments he has to pay back while going to Bible school, and God had told him to sell off a bunch of his real estate. Basically, he had no income. He owed $40,000, and he was in Bible school in a new town with his wife and young family. All right? Spicy scenario. He wanted to hire a coach. So he had his idea for his wallet company. So a physical product business, even a slightly more difficult business to get into. A physical product business. And he knew somebody who, said, I can coach you. I've helped other people with online businesses. I can coach you. And he said, okay, how much? It was $2,000. He was 40 grand in debt, no income, Bible school, new city. He went and he had to call his credit card company to get an extension, and he put the $2,000 on the credit card. Then he dove all in. The result of that is a $15 million business in 2 years. He could have easily said, I can't afford it. Because I'm telling you, you watching this, probably you're in a better financial spot than he was at that time. If you have $300 in your savings account, you are at a better spot than he was. But Trav, isn't that being a bad steward? No. Who said? What scripture says that? I've put stuff on credit card and then went and worked and paid it off. That's okay. That's fine. You can do that. I've done that many times. There have been people who've bought my coaching programs on credit card. Doesn't matter. They make the money to cover and pay it off like that anyway. But you're not thinking that. I can't afford it. It's just shutting you down. And see, if you have that I can't afford it mentality, that affects every area of life. Money is so impactful. You know that. You know how impactful money is. We live in an economic world. I can't afford it, Trav. Really want to, man. Maybe next time. No, probably not. Like, you're probably going to say this next time too. You're basically saying, I hope randomly I will have a ton of extra money in my bank account. Even though I'm not doing things, I get money in my bank account. I'm just going to keep living as I am right now. And then hopefully one day I got a ton of money and then I can join your program or another program or whatever. See, again, what you're doing is you're investing. I mean, go read Proverbs. Man, Proverbs 2, 4, 8, all those ones talk about getting wisdom. Man, some of them even talk about paying for it. Go get wisdom. Do whatever you got to do to get wisdom. Wisdom, understanding, and knowledge. Because when wisdom, understanding, and knowledge unlocks new levels, you become aware of new things, new ways of thinking, new ways of operating, new strategies you weren't aware of. It puts you around a new set of people who think differently than you and give you new ideas, opportunities, and connections. I've invested well over $100,000 into my own training, coaching, consulting, and all kinds of different things like that over the years. It's paid off. I remember one time I paid $18,000 for a coach. And I'll be honest with you, it was okay. It didn't go that great. But it did one thing. And that one thing was worth it. It got me to start my YouTube channel. This one. Well, Travis, do you think you could have started it without it? Don't know. I don't know. But through those conversations and the confidence and the ideas and some couple different things, he got me to start. It was the YouTube channel, but it was also teaching Increase University and a couple different things like that, putting my methods, if you will, into a framework. So at least I paid 18 grand to get a fire lit under my butt and do something I hadn't done and been sitting on for a long time. Something God has called me to do that I hadn't done anything with in 10 years. I paid 18 grand to get going, and I will pay it all. I paid double, I paid triple, I pay any amount for that to happen. That was another deal. He broke his payments up into $6,000 a month. I remember that. I had to go figure out how to get $6,000 a month, but I said yes first. Man, I got a buddy. Oh, that's probably a lesson right there. That's probably what I should call it. Say yes first. I have a good friend who money was tight, owns a small business. Money was tight. I'm talking like break even every month, barely pay your bills, nothing left over. And he knew God had called him to do YouTube. And I'm not saying every coach does this, and you don't have to have a YouTube coach in this capacity. It's something different than what I'm talking about. But he went and hired a YouTube coach. It cost $10,000 a month, and you had to sign a 1-year contract. So imagine, money's already tight. He's struggling. This is a tough time. And he said yes to a $10,000 a month contract. And he never missed a payment. Isn't that phenomenal? Isn't that God? He went to God. He tried to trust God. He had to get a strategy and he had to take action. He was willing and he obedient, and he ate the best of the land. That's Isaiah 1:19. He did it. The contract is over. He never missed a payment. Ended up crushing it on YouTube. Man, he said yes when he didn't know how to pay for it. So here's my summation for you guys. You're in a spot, you want something, you need something, you desire something. You just say, God, here's what I want. How do I get it? What do I do? What's my strategy? What do I believe? Or what scripture do I believe on? What scripture do I stand on? What's the play here? You have plans to prosper me, Lord. What's this prosperity plan you speak of? Help me out here. What do we do? God, you're my CFO, my chief financial officer. How do we make this happen? Might be a new house. Might be a new car. Man, story after story, I know of faith, believing, kingdom-minded Christians who want to upgrade their home. Man, they're bursting at the seams. It's time. Let's go. Let's upgrade a little bit. Been in this old tired dump for a while. Let's upgrade. I don't know your situation, but whatever it is. And they get in their new home. They ask God for the strategy, ask God for the plan. I have another YouTube video on this called How to Believe God for a House. Go get that one. It's free. You can grab it. But listen, God gave him a strategy. God gave him a plan. But lots of times moving into the house, man, it stretched their money a little bit. But here's the story over and over. Yeah, it seemed daunting at first with this new payment. But quickly, about 60, 90 days in, I was making so much, it was fine. That can be your story if you believe that. Remember the key scriptures? So be it as unto your faith. Another translation says, it will be done according to what you believe. If you believe it'll be hard, if you believe you can't afford it, if you believe it'll be tough, if you believe it's a bad idea, if you believe you're a bad steward, you're going to get the behaviors that line up with that, which will get you the results that line up with that. It's a dangerous slope. It's keeping Christians broke. See, here's the advantage. This is going to sound horrible, but here's the advantage that I see unbelievers, non-believers, non-Christians have financially over Christians. It's going to sound backwards, but I've seen it too many times. As I have coached millionaires and decamillionaires and 100,000-aires in the business world, I'd say about half of them weren't really living for God. The other half were, and were phenomenal to work with. But even the ones who didn't were still crushing it financially because they believe in aspects of faith, but they don't have any of the emotional guilt baggage that the devil puts on Christians. So they're over here and they're just going for their goals. Whether it's, I want a new truck, some of them are charities. I want to drill 100 wells in this country over here. I want to build 3 orphanages this year. They're lining up, they're getting goals, and then they're just getting after it. Some of them are asking the universe for their strategy. But hey, they're getting their strategies. They don't understand what's really happening. We do. But my point is, they don't say I can't afford it. They just go in with, how can I? I'm trying to get you to do the same thing. How can I afford this? How can I afford this house we need, or car we want, these clothes we want, this new lifestyle? How do I do that? God, I want to be more generous. Man, every time the bucket goes by at church, I want to be able to put at least $100 in there. So you pray that prayer, and then guess what you do next time the bucket goes by? You put $100 in there. And then guess what you do the next time? You put $100 in there. And then guess what you do the next time? You put $100 in there. And then guess what happens? You look back and you're like, whoa, I did it. What? Money's been tight. How did this work? God supplies seed to the sower. Man, this book is gold, guys. Read it. Man, I love you. No more saying I can't afford it. From now on, you just say, how can I? You see that number, that price, whatever it is, whatever the monthly payment is or the big amount is, how can I? What do I do? What's the strategy here? You pray and you write down what he tells you. He'll tell you. He'll tell you. You've made him your chief financial officer. You're tithing. Should be. You're tithing. The windows of heaven are open above your life, pouring out a blessing far greater than you could even contain or receive. All right, let's go. Man, I want this new information. I want the new lifestyle on the other end. How do I do it, God? I want to be able to be generous always in all ways. What do I do? 2 Corinthians 9, 6 through 12 will tell you. Go look it up. You got to want it. It's okay to want wealth. It's okay to want to afford anything. You should. It sets you apart from others. No more lack in your life. We're going to attack your lack. No more focusing on what you can't have. No more saying, no, I can't afford it. No more being victims of circumstances and situations. You've got the power and you've got the promises right here. The promises give you power, but you're not using them. Use them. Unlimited power is yours. God gets all the credit. He's the one who gave it to you. He gave you a weapon. He gave you a sword. I'm trying to get you to swing it. Too many Christians just have it strapped to their back and aren't even using their sword. You have every advantage. I love you guys. If you want our help implementing these things, going deeper on these topics, figuring out how to actually get the word in you and live it out, man, I invite you to come join our program. I'll put a link in the description. We're going to help 10,000 Christians get to 10 grand a month passively. You might as well join us. You might as well be one. It's a ton of fun. And we're changing the world, changing our families. We're helping people, blessing people. People are being more generous than they ever thought possible. Great things are happening over there. I invite you to come join us. I love you. I'll see you in the next one.